$744 and get protected from mayhem like me.
Average annual savings of new customers surveyed in 2021 who reported auto savings when switching to Allstate. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Don't miss the #1 rated afternoon drive show in New York. It's the Michael Kay Show. And it's every weekday at 2:55 on 98.7 ESPN.
Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
We're taking you, as always, to Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN Radio. Baseball, hitting the Dr. Pepper line Tuesday night. Shortstop Carlos Correa, 13-year deal with the San Francisco Giants for $350 million, according to our Jeff Passan. Correa had turned down $160 million from Houston last year, got $35 million in his 1 year with the Twins. Now gets the most money ever for a shortstop. Earlier on ESPN Radio, RQ Myers.
Shout out to Correa, right? He did some great things, obviously, in Houston. I was real shocked when he went to Minnesota, especially on the 1 year. I thought, why in the world is he going to Minnesota? Well, as you mentioned, bet on himself. He parlayed it into a hell of a contract with the Giants. And the Giants, they swung for the fences trying to get Aaron Judge. They didn't get him, but not a bad consolation prize, as you mentioned earlier, to get Carlos Correa. He's a hell of a talent.
Correa, 28, and lands a 13-year deal. Hit .291 with 22 homers, 64 RBI during his season with the Twins. Prior to that was in Houston, World Series champion in 2017. Went to the ALCS in 2018, back to the World Series in 2019, but was caught up in the whole sign-stealing scandal, which put a cloud over the championship. Correa took a lot of the pushback as he was outspoken in defending the team. College basketball, number 4, Alabama, edges out Memphis by 3. Alabama 9-1 through its first 10 games. First time that's happened since 2006. Fifth-ranked Houston, a 28-point win over North Carolina A&T. They haven't lost consecutive regular season games against a non-conference opponent since 2014. Arizona, a 38-point win over Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Arizona's 9-1. They've won at least 9 of their first 10 for the 4th consecutive season. Lionel Messi back in the World Cup final with Argentina, continuing his quest for soccer's biggest prize. 3-0 win over Croatia. ESPN analyst Taylor Twellman.
I think this is exactly where Messi and Argentina expected to be. Now, in saying that, they expected to play Brazil and not Croatia in the semifinal today, but they have been better since being punched in the face against Saudi Arabia. They've been fantastic with the pressure on them, knowing that this is more than likely Messi's last World Cup, and they have delivered. But I'm not putting the cart before the horse, because Kylian Mbappe and the French are playing Morocco tomorrow. And if they end up playing the French team in the final, you're talking about an epic final with 2 huge storylines. Kylian Mbappe is 23 years old and could win his 2nd World Cup, or Lionel Messi could win his 1st World Cup and arguably cement himself as the greatest player ever. If France gets their job done tomorrow, we get ourselves maybe the best World Cup final in a long time.
It'll be the 35-year-old Messi's 2nd World Cup final. He'll face either France or Morocco. That semifinal coming up later today. Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio. As for the top sounds from Tuesday, let's bring in Steve Lennox.
Number 4.
Jay Harden, Embiid, and the Sixers home Tuesday night against the Kings. James Harden playing beat the buzzer to end the first half. The call, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Final salvo here with Harden. 3 seconds to go. Harden will try to get up a 3. Shot in the air at the horn. It's good. And the 76ers with 80 points at halftime. Harden with 4 threes. 17 points, 10 assists. It's 80-55.
Number 3.
Pelicans were looking for an 8th straight victory with their road matchup against the Jazz in Salt Lake City. They did not get the victory, but Zion Williamson provided some oohs and ahs. ESPN New Orleans has the call of the big throwdown from Zion.
Maji, front court chest pass to Williamson. Now Zion, as Kessler's going to back off of him, head of steam. Drive in, punch it in, 2 hands, poster time. Walker Kessler just got put on a Zion Williamson throwdown poster.
Number 2.
In LA, Celtics led by 20. Lakers rallied in the second half, led in the fourth quarter, and that gave Jason Tatum an opportunity to play the role of hero at the end of regulation. Tatum's shot sending the game to OT, where the Celtics ended up with the W. The call from 98.5, the Sports Hub.
And the Celtics have the rebound. Joe Mazzulla will not call timeout. Boston down by 2. Tatum to the right. Pulls up on LeBron. They're isolated. Right side of the floor. Tatum spins on the baseline. Turns. Fade. Hit it! The Celtics have tied the game.
Number 1.
And Jay, we wrap with the night on the ice. And the big moment in Chicago. Capitals and Blackhawks skating. Alex Ovechkin capping off his hat trick and reaching a career milestone in the third period. The call from the Capitals Radio Network.
Chicago's own. The Blackhawks starting another turnover in front, and Mantha feeding it to Kuznetsov and Mrazek diving. A shot, they score! And it's Alex Ovechkin! And it's 800 goals in the National Hockey League! The bench empties! Alex Ovechkin is the third player in National Hockey League history to score 800 goals!
Washington with the win over the Blackhawks. Sabres shut out the Kings 6-0. All 6 in the third. Sabres win 6-0. It wasn't even the most lopsided game of the night. Maple Leafs shut out the Ducks 7-0. It's Wednesday, December 14th, birthday of Kyle Shanahan, who's 43. Today is Niners in Seattle. Tomorrow kicking off Week 15. Today, Lakers reeling from their late collapse against the Celtics last night. Coach Darvin Ham.
That's why it's hard. That's why it's you got to be thankful when you get a W in the NBA, man. It's just a tough league, especially against a team like that. I mean, one false move, they're going to make you pay. So it's just a matter of getting the things quicker.
Lakers rally, blow the lead they had, lose in overtime. KJ and Max have complete reaction this morning. They're next. I'm Jay Reynolds. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up next, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Let me guess. Unknown caller. You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
You can't miss a moment with Greeny.
The next 10 Super Bowl champions in the AFC are going to be some combination of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. You got to have that guy. And the Jets don't have that guy. Mike White is not that guy. Can you beat them every now and again? You have a puncher's chance. I mean, yeah, the Jets have a good enough team all around, but they got to figure something out at quarterback, and that is going to be their reality, whether they make the playoffs this year or not.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 a.m., right here on 98.7 ESPN.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-842-1313. 800-842-1313. That's 800-842-1313.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use ClosetBox instead? ClosetBox is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. ClosetBox's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. ClosetBox's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. ClosetBox has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com.
You're listening to 1050 ESPN, your home for New York Islanders hockey. WEPN, New York, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
God only made me one way. That's to beat Jalen Hurts. I'm powerful, tough, and relentless competitive. The journey far from over. I'm obsessed with this game. Enough is never enough.
Jalen Hurts, what a run! Touchdown!
It's about taking it to another level. The only direction is to rise.
Makes the catch!
Everybody in their opinions don't deposit at the bank.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and ESPNU. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Good morning, Key.
What's happening, man? You didn't really see. You missed it. Jalen Hurts and that bar he just dropped right there.
No.
Yeah,
I didn't miss it, but go ahead.
Just dropped one. He just let you know that everybody in their opinions don't deposit at the bank. I love that.
For sure.
Ooh, that's
Micah
a good
Parsons,
one right there.
Micah Parsons has an opinion, but he will deposit you on the turf. You know, like I love what's going on here. We're talking about Micah Parsons, who, if there's a dude who's more like Lawrence Taylor than Micah Parsons since LT was around, you got to give me the name, because this dude looks the most to me like LT in his young career so far. Since LT, I haven't seen another player that made me think, boy, that reminds me a lot of that. That's a lot.
That may be true, but Jalen Hurts is not backing down.
Nah, Jalen Hurts.
Nobody and no thing whatsoever. I mean, it's just interesting to hear in that conversation right there, what Jalen Hurts is saying. He just lets you know he done been through a lot, so it's nothing new to him.
Jalen Hurts is it's clear why his teammates love him, right? Why they play well together, his leadership style and skills, and ability, coach's son, all that kind of stuff. Threat through the air, threat on the ground, the whole thing. But Key, this matchup, these two teams had head-to-head all year. The Eagles have been hearing about how, well, the Cowboys will probably pop them in Dallas, right? That'll be another loss. Eagles, meantime, don't look like they're trying to lose to anyone. Dallas sees them coming. It's the heavyweight matchup.
But the crazy part about it, they don't play for 2 weeks, though.
Yeah, but it's
they play on Christmas Eve, man.
Yeah, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's a couple weeks from now, and they chirping already.
Oh, I love it.
Or what better yet, Michael Parsons is chirping, not Jalen Hurts, so to speak. I just like what Jalen Hurts said about opinions, because he's so true. You can't cash those at the bank.
Let's talk about what Micah Parsons said. He was speaking on the Von Cast with Von Miller, Cowboys edge rusher, and Micah Parsons openly questioned. Now think about this. They're chasing the Eagles. Hurts is balling out. You might make one or two plays on the quarterback and he'll still beat you. If his team is better, if he makes a nice play, Parsons, he just throws down he's just like, look, this is what I said. Here I come. He openly questioned how much credit
Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts deserves for Philadelphia's success. Listen to this.
We look at the Eagles. Is it Hurts or the team? I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think it's system and team. I think it's a little bit of both, man, because they got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game. I mean, Miles Sanders. They scheme that they have. O-line. I mean, bro, like, hey, this Eagles Cowboys coming up, ain't it? Yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just love the game so much, and I understand it so much that like I can't. I when things are off, I just can't like hold it in. Like I almost gotta say something. Like yeah, you're right. They got a great team, great defense. But everyone has their own opinions. Like, but they got Jalen Hurts is he's good.
He's good. He's minus 150. He's the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. Mahomes is plus 200. Joe Burrow plus 650. Josh Allen, who's the preseason favorite, plus 2,200.
Josh Allen up there. They ain't gonna let that go.
Well, listen, hey, Key. Josh Allen has 2 or 3 good games. He's right. Josh Allen can easily get back in.
It's just funny though. They ain't gonna make sure to keep his name in the odds.
Well, he was the preseason favorite. So Jalen Hurts, Key. I hear what Micah Parsons is saying, and I believe him. I think Micah Parsons believes what he's saying. But the eyeball test to me with Jalen Hurts checks. Like it looks good. Even if you think he's on a great team, and he is, protection, offensive line, wideouts, coaching, the whole thing. But it looks good when Jalen Hurts does it. How good is Hurts, Key?
Okay, so before I even get into how good is Hurts, I'm going to push back on Micah Parsons when he started talking about the team and all the sort of things, because Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark, Mathis on the defense, Freeney on the defense, okay, Jason Belzer in the secondary, Tony Dungy on the sideline. I mean, so, you start getting into personnel and things of that nature, that quarterback makes that personnel go. Tom Brady had Gronkowski. He had Willie McGinnis and Teddy Bruschi. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on about quarterbacks and their personnel groupings and what Troy Aikman had and what Deion Sanders was on one side and Charles Haley was the defensive end on another side, and Emmitt Smith was behind him running the ball, and the playmaker was running skinny posts for first downs on 3rd and 18. You cannot take away from the potential greatness that Jalen Hurts has.
We've got you. Visit uncommongoods.com to be the gift giver you were meant to be. Because we're all out of the ordinary.
25 days. 25 days. 25 days.
Woody.
Yes.
So much crazy Christmas.
What's this called?
It's
free
horns. 25 days of Christmas.
Song.
Yeah, on Christmas Day, I'ma take my shot and make them fade away. Stacking up these wins like I'm LBJ. Splashing with my buddies like I'm Stephen Clay. Hey.
It's NBA Christmas Day, beginning at noon on ESPN and ABC.
I got a load full of paprika, garlic, black pepper, and salt for the all-new bread-and-free blackened chicken sandwich. Do you copy?
Copy that.
You think others will copy us?
Let them try.
Introducing the new blackened chicken sandwich. No breading, all flavor.
First, there's an idea, and you do something about it for the first time. Then, before you know it, you make your first sale. Small business first never stop coming. And you have a partner that always puts you first.
No way.
GoDaddy, tools and support for every small business first.
$273. This is how much you spend every month on subscriptions.
I only have like 2 or 3, right?
That's what we all think. But in reality, we have so much more that we don't even know we're paying for.
So how do I put more of this cash back in my pocket?
Rocket Money is a financial app that tells you every subscription you're paying for, even that one you forgot about from 5 years ago.
Huh, I can't believe I'm still paying for this. I'll call and cancel right now.
Whoa. With Rocket Money, they even cancel it for you.
Really?
All you have to do is tap a few buttons, and they'll take care of it. Download Rocket Money today.
Jalen Hurts is my number 1 candidate to win the MVP award this season.
Hurts, quarterback draw, straight up the gut to the 5, and easy as pie into the end zone.
He's just become a point guard at this point.
I've never, ever seen a quarterback make the strides that Jalen Hurts has made.
And he has so many different ways that he can distribute the football.
Inside the 5-yard line is A.J. Brown, who takes it in for the 33-yard score. It is all Philadelphia this afternoon.
This ain't gonna be the first time that I do numbers on
ESPN
two
Radio.
touches. See more plaques
Jalen
than
Hurts
two rushes.
lost
Until
his
I'm at the
starting
pearly
job
white
at
gates, I gotta
Alabama,
do
had to
something,
transfer.
do something.
Puts
All
up
me this
numbers,
happening
but
first,
same
so they
school
can't
where
prove
the number
nothing.
one overall
8
pick,
years and still like a new
Baker
husband.
Mayfield, went put up numbers. He goes first overall. Kyler Murray, he goes first overall. Jalen Hurts, same thing, right? He goes in the second round. Loses his college job, goes in the second round. Gets to the Eagles. He's a work in progress. And now he is the odds-on favorite, meaning it's more likely that he wins the MVP at this moment, according to Vegas, than everyone else combined wins the MVP. Think about that one. But Micah Parsons, who was apparently born on another planet, man, because that's not a human physical specimen. This guy is ridiculous. Said this to Von Miller on the Voncast. Cowboys linebacker. He's coming for the Eagles quarterback. They got a matchup Christmas Eve. Here's what he said about Jalen Hurts and the MVP.
We look at the Eagles. Is it Hurts or the team? I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think it's system and team. I think it's a little bit of both, man, because they got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game. I mean, Miles Sanders. They scheme that they have. O-line. I mean, bro, like, hey, this Eagles Cowboys coming up, ain't it? Yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just love the game so much, and I understand it so much that like I can't. I when things are off, I just can't like hold it in. Like I almost gotta say something. Like yeah, you're right. They got a great team, great defense. But everyone has their own opinions. Like, but they got Jalen Hurts is he's good. He's good.
Don in Dallas, you're on with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Hey, thanks for the call again, guys. Key, y'all got to stop this double standard stuff, man, because now I'll take Jalen Hurts over my quarterback, Ryan Dakota Prescott, any day. I'm not going to call him Dak because he's not cool. You can't have a cool name when you're doing stupid stuff. But anyway, Michael Parsons was totally correct. It's the system, because when you look at the season this year, the only two teams that they played that was coming to the season that was ranked to be good teams was the Cowboys and the Vikings, and no one trusts the Vikings, and they beat a Cowboys team with a backup quarterback that gave up 3 interceptions. And then you go back to last year, they won 9 games against teams that wasn't any good last year as well. So you put it all together, the system he got and the players that he got now, that's what made him a whole lot better, because he's still not doing it. He hasn't proved anything to me for him being
Dallas. Don in Dallas doesn't like Dak, doesn't like a lot of guys.
Don, let me ask you something. You said we need to stop the double standard thing. You never elaborated on that. What's the double standard?
Okay. The double standard is you guys like, the Cowboys, they should blow out teams that they're way better than and all this stuff here, you know. Well, Jalen Hurts and them barely beat, because of the 3 turnovers from a backup quarterback, you know, it was less than 10 points. You know, they didn't blow us out with a backup quarterback, and they should have. With that team that they have.
Who say that the Cowboys should blow out teams that they're better than? Who says that?
Well, he's hearing it somewhere, Key.
I want, you know, when he say us, you talking about us or you talking about people on ESPN? Because I believe if you're better than any team, you're supposed to beat them a certain way. But then there's other teams that you play down to, like the Cowboys did to the Texans. They played down to the Texans, so therefore they got into a shootout, but they figured out how to get out of the situation that they put themselves in. On the other hand, when it comes to Philadelphia's schedule, you play who's on your schedule. They've answered the bell 12 times this year. The only time they didn't answer it is against the Washington Commanders. So you can't look at the schedule and pick the games out and say, well, they should have did this to this team and this, that team. They win in the games that's in front of them. That's why they're number 1 in the NFC.
First of all, no team's going to win every game. Second of all, even the powerhouse teams that only have a couple losses are not going to blow out every team.
You're not going to blow out every team.
Including the bad team. Sometimes a bad team, like you said, Key, might bring you down to their level, might even pop you. It's not, you can't disqualify a team or a player because of one or two outings where you felt they should have been better than they were, whether that's beating a team that they lost to, beating a team by a wider margin, right? Doing better against a team that they lost to. Like, of course, you're going to have a couple of clunkers in there in the course of a season. I don't care if you're the 85 Bears or the 07 Patriots. 07 Patriots couldn't close the deal in the Super Bowl, right? Greatest team of all time, Chris and Penn. In Pennsylvania, you're on Jay Willamette.
Good. Then you're ready.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want with all the entertainment you love for the price that cable can't beat. Try free at FuboTV.com.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
As the Bespoke Postman, I only deliver one high-quality package from Bespoke Post, and it's all been tested by me. Discover the best small brands in the world at BespokePost.com.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan. 100% authentic fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
I'm Aaliyah Boston, and welcome to my home of St. Thomas Virgin Islands.
We run the kingdom today, don't worry about tomorrow.
She doesn't change based on where she went and the things that she has accomplished. She is Aaliyah, and she's genuine to that. We want that when the world hears her story and sees where she came from, that they're going to know there's so many more Aaliyahs on this island.
So this is where it all started. And even after school, just my mom would bring us up and be like, all right, let's shoot. This is outside courts. I love it. The heat used to be booming. Okay? You got to sweat in by walking up the hill.
When did you start coaching her?
She was in sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
Coach Bruley just with my shot, helping me to develop from a nice little two-hand jumper to the proper way.
And I saw some signs in her. Right? In seventh grade, I told her mother she was a D1 prospect.
In seventh grade,
Yeah.
you saw something in her.
Yeah, I told her mother she had to get off of the island. Honestly, she was way better than all them girls.
You play the same teams over and over and over. So you know what, everybody know what the next person is going to do. So your ability to play competition outside of that circle is non-existent. She needed an opportunity to see who she could become.
She is their go-to at 6'5" on the inside, and she has the capability of finishing left and right.
She is so big, so strong, so mobile, so quick.
The most dominant center in the country right now. I mean, it's just knowing what I wanted to accomplish and just knowing the sacrifices that my entire family has made. It's like you have to keep going. This wasn't all just for fun. I mean, basketball is fun, but all the sacrifices, I mean, it's for a greater purpose.
Man, the center's in front. Kuznetsov had the shot. And there it is. 800. Alexander Ovechkin has done it. You have just witnessed the 800th goal for Alex Ovechkin. Only the third player in National Hockey League history to reach that mark.
Washington Capitals captain Alex Ovechkin scored the 800th goal of his career Tuesday night, becoming the third player in NHL history behind, how's this, Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe, who reached the milestone. He also became the first to do it with a single franchise. And
you have just witnessed the 800th goal for Alex Ovechkin, only the third player in National Hockey League history to reach that mark.
Washington Capitals captain Alex Ovechkin scored by LA. Boston led by who else? Jason Tatum at 44, and Jaylen Brown's dagger 3 outscored LA 12-8 in overtime to pull out the win. And in major MLB news, superstar shortstop Carlos Correa and San Francisco. Sad ending. The Celtics beat the Lakers 122-118 in overtime. Despite a big wild 20-point comeback by LA. Boston led by who else? Jason Tatum at 44, and Jaylen Brown's dagger 3 outscored LA 12-8 in overtime to pull out the win. And in major MLB news, superstar shortstop Carlos Correa and the San Francisco Giants are in agreement on a 13-year, $350 million contract. A record-long deal. It's the richest ever for the position, and it gives the San Francisco Giants, Correa to the Giants, a franchise player around which to build. Sources familiar with the situation told ESPN SportsCenter, presented by Progressive Insurance. It's Progressive's 10th Keys to Progress giveaway for veterans. This year, their goal is to gift a vehicle to a recipient, small business, or nonprofit in every state. See more about their annual giveaway at keystoprogress.com. Sean J. Willimax. You can keep weighing in on Jalen Hurts, Micah Parsons, Von Miller's podcast, Voncast, talking about Jalen Hurts. He's good. But when you talk about MVP, is it him or the team? Talking about how much he loves football and how much he sees, and he just has to say something. Cowboys, Eagles. Eagles at Cowboys, Christmas Eve. Parsons and Hurts both in the MVP conversation. ESPN Wisconsin Packers insider Jason Wilde, excuse me. What did I say? Wild? Idiot. Jason Wilde believes Jordan Love will demand a trade from the Packers if he's not the starting quarterback next season. By the way, you want to talk Hurts and Parsons, 888-SAY ESPN 729-3776. But listen to what Wilde says. Quote, I had a really great conversation with Jordan Friday afternoon. You've heard Jason Wilde on this very program. I think he very clearly, even though he wouldn't flat out say it, he does not want to sit for another year. So if we get to year 4 and Rodgers does come back, I'm fairly confident that he, meaning Jordan Love, will seek a trade, end quote. Wilde recently interviewed Love when asked if Rodgers comes back for the 2023 season, would he be willing to sit for another year? This was Love's response. Quote, that's something me and my agent will talk about. We'll figure that out. Could Jordan Love force his way out of Green Bay, Key?
They not force his way out of Green Bay for what? Because Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not leaving $55 million or whatever the number is on the table to walk away when the team has to just make some tweaks here and there and fix some things and be right back in the mix next year. There's no question about it. I don't see where Aaron Rodgers is going to decide to retire or ask to be moved to another situation so that Jordan Love could start the Packers could start the Jordan Love era. I understand he wants to play. There's no question about it. He wants to be on the field, and he deserves the right to want to be on the field. But they're not taking Jordan Love over Aaron Rodgers at this point in time. It's just not going to happen.
What? Listen, first of all, the idea that Rodgers would walk away for $55 million is not true because he'll get that anywhere. Like anyone will give him the money, right? The question is, would the Packers, as you just said, be willing to move on from him to move to Jordan Love? And that'd only even be an issue if Rodgers went to the Packers and said, look,
The Packers already said they want Aaron Rodgers back, though. They already said that 2 weeks ago. We want Aaron Rodgers back.
So we're left with Jordan Love not getting on the field unless, barring injury, knock wood, that doesn't happen. But so that's why the question's being asked. Rodgers comes back. That's the Packers' plan. There's no, in the foreseeable future, we don't know. Rodgers is so good. We're just going to stay with him for now. You're Jordan Love. Aren't you trying to get out?
Yeah, going and asking for a trade is not a bad thing for him, but I don't see where the Packers would even get the return in value. They gave up a number one. They moved up to get him. They're not going to get that back. I don't know.
Fan base like to see Joe Burrow in the MVP conversation.
Man, if you want me to walk downtown and shout it out, I'm going to get about one answer, and that's going to be number one. However, when you look at it, I do think that Jalen Hurts right now, when you look at the body of work, what he's been able to do this year, it's hard to argue against him, and it's easy to see why he's easily the betting favorite from our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook. But, Burrow has played himself into the MVP conversation, and we'll see what happens. I mean, theoretically, Joe Burrow could end the year with a win over Patrick Mahomes. He did get a win over Tua, albeit it was that game where Tua suffered the concussion that was very controversial. And the Bengals will have games against Tom Brady, like we have this weekend coming up, and then a game against Josh Allen again on Monday Night Football. And potentially, if Lamar Jackson comes back for Week 18, that game could decide the division. So he could have a lot of high-profile matchups against a lot of notable opposing quarterbacks. And that, if the Eagles falter, we'll see what happens. But Burrow has played himself into a interesting situation in the MVP race. Max, I think you'll like this. I believe that when you look at this quarterback matchup this weekend, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Naoa Inoue and Nonito Donaire matchup. And we all know Donaire, the most recent one, where Donaire, when he got in the ring, we said maybe Donaire still has the goods. And when Inoue was on the other side of the ring, it's like, not necessarily the case. And Inoue just wiped through him. Maybe we're seeing a changing of the guard in that way, where we have this up-and-comer coming in. And with a lot of these young quarterbacks, and we're seeing some of the old guard being phased out. Right. When you look at some of the young dynamic guys like Herbert, like Burrow, like Tua, like Jalen Hurts, it's just such an exciting time to be in the league.
Ben Baby, ladies and gentlemen, ESPN Bengals reporter, especially Tom Brady was a gangster. Joe Burrow is this era's gangster so far. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Jalen Hurts favorite for MVP. Time for Philly to pay him. Coming up.
Dell Technologies Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. 877-ASK-DELL.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and More. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Price so amazingly low.
Love what you find. Always lowest prices at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. 40, love. Match point. Out.
There's no way that was out.
Out. The ball is out. It's out.
Are you even watching?
No, honestly, I'm not. I'm watching college football on my phone with AT&T 5G.
Wow, that's too much.
With AT&T 5G, too much college football is never too much. 5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Rex Ryan with us, Mike White. He took a beating like I've almost never seen before. Left the game, comes back into the game. How much does that do as far as credibility in the locker room for guys to watch him still finish that game?
That kind of toughness, and he's hurting the way he's hurting. I was impressed by that kid, man. I'd follow him. Anybody that's willing to do that, man, I'd follow him.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN.
Get a jump on the new year by finally losing that weight. Schedule your consultation with NJ Diet today. Their scientific approach will ensure that you lose that fat quickly and safely. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva samples along with their bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that balance your hormones, where the side effect is weight loss. You will shed a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to help you keep it off. NJ Diet is all natural, no shots, no hormones, no surgery, and no prepackaged foods. Full supervision is provided every step of the way, and even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations throughout the East Coast or from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call them now, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com, and lose the weight for good.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation, 800-927-3138. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-927-3138. That's 800-927-3138. Again, 800-927-3138.
With other lenders, it can feel like they're calling the wrong plays, not Cross Country Mortgage. They're the masterminds behind perfect play calling. Go with them and your home loan experience will end in a victory parade in your new neighborhood. You're the perfect free agent to sign with the best loan originators in the game, and Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done. Reach out today at ccm.com. That's ccm.com.
Equal housing opportunity. All loans subject to underwriting approval. Cross Country Mortgage LLC. NMLS 3029. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Free. 1050 ESPN New York. The biggest names and the biggest games. WEPN New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
God only made me one way. That's to beat Jalen Hurts. I'm powerful, tough, and relentless competitor. The journey far from over.
Heavy crime. Yeah, this is dedication.
I'm obsessed with this game. Enough is never enough.
Jalen Hurts, what a run! Touchdown!
It's about taking it to another level. The only direction is to rise.
Makes the catch! It was funny.
Everybody in their opinions, they don't deposit at the bank.
Use that. I love that. I gotta use that.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and ESPNU. Key, very, very excited about that Jalen Hurts sound. We're going to get to that in a second. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. More responsible for the Eagles' success. Jalen Hurts, that's what the MVP odds makers say. He's favored against the entire field at this point, minus 140. Or the team. That's what Micah Parsons told Von Miller on the Voncast, Von Miller's podcast. That is it really Jalen Hurts or is it the team? Micah thinks it's the team. This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max coming to you live from the Seaport, brought to you by Grey Goose. Key, what did you like so much that you heard from that sound?
Oh, I just love the fact that he lets you know them opinions, you can't cash them at the bank. So the opinion means nothing. They mean absolutely
nothing. And I love that. I love the mindset of where Jalen Hurts is coming from. Because an outside opinion about his ability, who he is, what he's all about, they not paying him. And I've always said that, people say, you this or you can't do this. So first of all, man, you're not writing the check, so it doesn't really matter to me. It's the people that are the ones who's writing the checks or signing off on the contracts. Those are the ones that matter, not somebody's opinion on the outside about one's ability to do their job.
Well, let's talk about what you just said, Key, and the paycheck. Because, first of all, what I love about Micah Parsons saying this is he's not just an outside observer. He's coming to get Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts is like, I love it when guys are going head to. Remember that old, I forgot what even they were selling, but the commercial of Palomalu and LaDainian Tomlinson, where they were like little kids, and you see them on either side of the screen, and they're going toward the center of the screen constantly. And you see them growing up, little kids going forward, playing football, whatever, throughout the years. And then eventually they meet on the actual football field, the hard-hitting safety and the running back, right? It's kind of like that, man. These are actual rivals from rival teams and divisional rivals playing rival positions, really, right? Pass rusher versus quarterback. So I love it. But let's talk about what you can cash at the bank, Key. Jalen Hurts is the MVP favorite. First, I want you to listen to him on the 6 o'clock Sports Center on his development.
I think the reality is, for me, I've never changed throughout my whole entire journey, my whole entire career to this point. I've always tried to, just be consistent and chase growth. And I've learned from every experience that I've ever been in. And I've definitely tried to take in as much as I can to grow from the people around me. So it's just been an ongoing process. One thing I tell you is there is no arrival. There is no point where you will say that you've arrived. There's only the journey. And I've embraced the journey. I take it one day at a time, and we just want to continue to grow.
The maturity on this guy, he's already learned a lot of important life lessons better than most, it sounds like. So Key, it was a Nike commercial, by the way, the Palomalu LT LaDainian Tomlinson commercial. So he's the MVP favorite. He talks like a franchise quarterback, like the CEO of your football team, all that stuff, and he's having an MVP kind of season. Has he proven enough for a top-of-the-market deal? Remember, a second-round pick. So there's no 5 years, it's 4 years. Kyler Murray got 5 years, $46 million a year. Of course, not all of that is guaranteed. Deshaun Watson got a fully guaranteed $230 million. Remember when Deshaun reset the market, teams were quick to be like, no, but here's the Russell Wilson deal and here's the Kyler Murray deal. See, they're not $230 fully guaranteed. They're like $160 fully guaranteed. That's one of the holdups with Lamar Jackson. They want to pay him like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson ostensibly, and he's like, Deshaun Watson, right? Josh Allen, who signed before these guys, 6 years, $43 million, also not fully guaranteed. So, Key, what's this Jalen Hurts contract going to look like? Kyler Murray money or Deshaun Watson money?
Well, I think it's going to be where his value is at, depending on how things end. As you remember, several months ago, I talked about when I can't wait till they get to the offseason into the spring so they can address Jalen Hurts' contract going into his 4th year. You certainly don't want to play games with a guy like this. You want to get him locked up and done like you've done with most guys that are in situations like this. Kyler Murray is on a $230 million deal on a yearly average of about $46 million, about $180 million of it or so guaranteed, fully guaranteed. Jalen Hurts will surpass that. Now, there's going to be other guys that come up. Joe Burrow's going to come up. Lamar Jackson obviously is there. Justin Herbert's going to come up. Those conversations are all going to come up. Tua's going to come up. And the 4 guys that are in that draft class, those quarterbacks, Tua, Hurts, Burrow, and Herbert, whoever goes to the Super Bowl and wins the Super Bowl is going to get the most money. If none of them go to the Super Bowl and none of them win the Super Bowl, the next is who's the MVP. And then the MVP is going to get. Then after the MVP, whoever goes, they're all going to fall within millions of dollars of each other. Nobody's going to leapfrog somebody to the point of no return on the guaranteed money. I don't think that that'll be the case. They'll all probably hit at the $200 million guaranteed mark, somewhere in that realm, and that because the Deshaun Watson contract is a little different. It makes things somewhat difficult for organizations. But if you're really looking at the real deal outside of Deshaun, I would probably say his real money's probably going to be.
Right, that's the money you got coming to you.